Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome to some more StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Now over the last week or so I've been playing a ton of StarCraft. However, for some reason my Zerg vs Zerg have been going really poorly. I don't really know exactly what it is, but I've been losing a bunch, and in this specific game I'm going up against SBR, who is actually a Grandmaster level Zerg if I'm not mistaken, and he and me played like 6 games in a row, and I believe this is like the 6th one we play, and I won maybe one before this. I mean, I've just been facing the same Zerg players over and over again, and they seem to know my style, and they seem to know what I've been doing a lot, and for that very reason, I decide to mix it up in this game. So usually I play a very defensive style. I like to, you know, sit back and basically be very not aggressive for the most part, and then defend, and get an advantage that way, and eventually we'll get a bigger army. Now, for some reason, that hasn't really been working very well for me in Legacy of the Void, and this specific game, I decided to play a little bit differently. So I figured I would share this with you guys, because, you know, I've been uploading a lot of defensive Zerg vs Zerg as well, and I don't really cheese all that often. So in this specific game, I go for the 14-14 right here. As you will be able to notice very quickly, this is not something I've practiced very much, if anything, because my micro is a little bit bad when I start off with this. But the idea behind this build is that you basically do some damage early on, and that, you know, if you can obviously finish off the game, but you're gonna do some damage early on. You make some Zerglings, you make some Banelings, you get link speed very early and whatnot. You get a later expansion, but eventually you do want to transition out of it. And most of the time, since I've been mixing it up in this game anyway, but most of the time when I play Zerg vs Zerg, I transition towards Roaches, right? I go for Roaches into Ravagers, into +1 attack, into Roach speed, into Ravager range, the whole normal shebang right there. But in this specific game, I decide to not just go for Zergling aggression early on into Baneling aggression, but then also eventually get going with the Mutalisk as well. So a completely different style than what I usually play, and honestly, I actually have been enjoying this a lot. I've been doing it a little bit more in the last couple days. Still definitely do need practice. I played this game, I believe, like 3 days ago, but I definitely do still need some more practice with this, because I'm by no means playing this very well at all. And as you can see, I'm trying to send a worker to my natural right now, knowing that I don't even have the minerals. I send it back very early again, so it's just a matter of me not 100% sure, you know, what is going on. So my Zerglings are on the other side of the map right now. I don't really want to jump into the main base right now for the very reason that I know it's likely not going to achieve too much. I may as well get some damage done right there. Just trying to micro my Zerglings back whenever I can. And if I can get a kill on the hatchery, obviously that's practically game over. Now you got to keep in mind, at this point in the game, my opponent is actually ahead. And it may only be 2 workers, but it's a pretty substantial amount because he's also getting that extra lifer production from the natural. So I do need to kill at least a couple of his drones right now. So I'm morphing in my my Baneling nest, or my Banelings right now. Zergling speed is about to finish up. And in the meantime, I got my natural going up as well, and these are basically the amount of Zerglings I really want to be making. I don't want to be going too all out in it because it's just not going to give me too much. But here we go. I'm going to start microing this relatively okay-ish. Not really that well at all, but I'm gonna be able to at the very least deal some damage. My opponent has been trying to defend right here, and honestly, very shortly, I should go ahead and start droning up again. So the idea here is that you force your opponent to overmake defense. And at that point, you know, you get some defense at home, but for the most part, you just start making a ton of workers. And that's exactly what I want to be doing here. So I'm still making more and more Zerglings right now, hoping to finish off the game. But very shortly, you'll find out that my opponent is a little bit too good for that, and I accidentally run 2 Banelings into his hatchery. If I didn't do that, I probably would be able to close the game out right here, and I probably would be able to do this very well, because hey, you know, the 2 Banelings right there would have been able to kill at least like all of these Zerglings, but very likely a big chunk of drones as well, and at the very least they would buy me time for what is going on. So running your Zerglings or your Banelings into a hatchery, definitely not something I would recommend, and that's just me needing more practice with these kind of build orders. Now, in the meantime, as you can see, I'm starting to make a couple of Zerglings and then a couple of drones as well. And I'm starting to make, you know, a couple of workers every now and then just to try to get that edge in Zerg vs Zerg. I know how very difficult this is going to be. I did kill his Spine Crawler earlier. I know that he's still in a defensive play because he never finished up Zergling speed. I'm just trying to kill whatever I can right now. Did get the kill right there on the Queen as well. I do know right now that he's adding on a Spine Crawler as well, and that will finish up very shortly. Just trying to do whatever damage I can. And in the meantime, if you take a look at income, we are actually dead even right now, but I am having the upper hand right now as far as income goes, right? There's nobody really deciding right now what is gonna happen in this game except me, because he doesn't have link speed. He can't really do very much. So I get what I can get. Got a couple of drone kills. In total, I actually only got 5 in this game, but it does give me full-on map control right now. And while this is going on, this is the moment where my opponent is gonna be very uncertain what to do. He doesn't have link speed, or he may finish it up very shortly. He's actually only just now starting it. He doesn't have link speed. He doesn't have overlords on my side of the map to figure out what is going on. And he knows that I've been playing very, very aggressive. And at this moment, I am able to start making a ton of workers. I already made a bunch right there, and we go up to 25 versus only 14. And that's the real strength of this build order. Other than just straight up killing your opponent, you can actually get the advantage by just simply sitting back after, you know, doing a little bit of damage and pushing your advantage that way. So I'm gonna go up to a lair right now. I'm gonna be starting my extra gases right now as well, because the plan is right now to go for a Mutalisk. A Mutalisk den? Wow. A Spire is what I meant to say. Just trying to see what damage I can do, by the way, here. I know that he has a Spine Crawler, so I'm not going to be able to achieve too much. But if I can blow up a couple of Banelings, I will try. So I try right there. Definitely is worth it if you do get the kill right there, but I didn't. And my opponent is suiciding in the Overlord, and I actually end up not getting the kill. I don't have an Overlord of my own nearby, so it's a little unfortunate. But I will be able to start up my Spire relatively early on. Don't really want to show him that I'm taking all of the gases in the natural, so right now I'm only taking one gas in the natural, for the reason that I know my opponent has vision of this, so if you have a look at this, I'm assuming at least he has vision. Yeah, he's gonna try and have a look at least probably in a second, but I don't want him to see that I am taking the second gas in the main base as well, or in the natural as well, just to make him think I'm going for a roach play instead, of a Spire play. Obviously, if he sees double gas right now, it's a pretty obvious assumption to make. In the meantime, though, my opponent has been making a ton of units, and I've been very focused on trying to kill this this Overlord right here, and this is where I make a bit of a mistake. I will be able to kill that Overlord eventually, and I'm gonna be able to start up the Spire right now, and I'm a lot of Zerglings as well, but I don't really have very much to defend this aggression. And this is where I'm a little bit worried. I'm gonna start making tons and tons of Zerglings right now. My opponent is target firing down the Spire while morphing in Banelings right outside of my main base. And I gotta be very careful right here. Trying to micro my ass off, splitting off the workers to the best of my abilities. Trying to make sure that he does not connect properly to everything that is going on. And as you can see, I am a little more comfortable playing defensive for the most part. I feel a lot better playing defensive than I do feel offensive, because in the end we only lost one worker to like 20 Zerglings and, you know, a very big amount of Banelings as well. So obviously that was a very close call right there. I could have gone the complete opposite way if I missed micro for even a second, but right now we are in a beautiful position. Got the Spire about to finish up. I know my opponent doesn't have a third base yet. I'm assuming right now that he's gonna go, oh actually I've already seen the Roach Warren, but right now it's a pretty safe assumption to make as well, that your opponent is gonna go Roaches, because that's the more defensive style in general. So I know my Mutalisk will be able to start, you know, flying across the sky and deal a lot of damage that way. We'll be able to go for the third base myself right now as well. Obviously, the more gas you can get when playing Mutas, the better it's gonna be. And that's exactly what I'm focusing on right now. I got Zerglings poking at his third base right now. So, you know, whenever he takes this, I will have complete vision of it. And that's exactly what I'm looking for right now. Trying to get my Mutalisk out to stop any kind of potential roach aggression that I'm assuming he's going for right now. And I do need to know when he takes the third base. Now my Mutas are out. I'm just gonna go Overlord hunting right here. Not really worth to go across the map right now with the Mutas and try and kill workers instead. Even though I probably would have been able to kill at least a couple. But I see roaches out right now. Now, this is where things get a little bit difficult. Roaches in general actually are better than Mutalisk for the simple reason that you don't kill roaches very fast at all with Mutalisk. But right now I see, hey, my opponent is only just now starting up the Spire. That means, or the Lair rather, that means that he's not gonna finish up any kind of roach speed anytime soon. And as long as I just keep him on his toes, get the cancel on the potential third base, and just make sure that he is kept in check, I will be in a very good place right now. So the Zerglings I set up on the north side, or on the south side of the map, and I'm gonna be running those by immediately. I see his roaches move out across the map right now as well. I'm gonna move my Zerglings back home as well, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm not engaging this army until I have my Mutalisk close by as well. Keep in mind, I need to stop this aggression, because if I don't, I will be able to you know, get cancelled out. And if I don't stop those roaches in time, they will be able to kill like 2 bases. But in the end, the economy aggression, or the economic deficit that he gathered early on did give me the advantage right here. Now keep in mind, this is not the usual style that I play. I need to be practicing this a lot more. And I'll be honest, this guy has been, SBR has been having my number for the last couple of days. He's been winning a lot of games versus me. But all in all, this was undoubtedly a little bit of a different game to be showing you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button, and I want to thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one.